Conservative Media peeps, what's up? It's me, John D. Villarreal, the four-time national champion, Paul at Villarreal, joining by phone. We're still talking about the Raw 1000th episode, and this thing just gets better and better, but it seems to keep going from bad to worse for Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan, after his wedding, got punked, and AJ Lee now becomes the new manager of WWE Raw, in our personal opinion. First of all, our personal opinion only, not legit facts, like cast spurs, all for entertainment purpose only. Please check disclaimers. Daniel Bryan was in the ring, still in his white tuxedo, and he was talking to CM Punk, and they were facing down, and they were talking back and forth, this and that, whatever. And at some point, Daniel Bryan said that not only that he was the best champion in the history of the WWE or the history of Raw, one of those two, Paul, I might be getting it wrong, but basically, you know, the best champion. No sooner did he say that than the music hits, and here comes Rocky, the Rock, okay, the great one. Comes down, does his thing, the whole crowd goes wild there in St. Louis, and Rock talked about how he won his first championship in the WWE there in St. Louis, and he proceeded to just punk out Daniel Bryan. Paul, at one point, he talked about how he was a hobbit. He was talking about Lord of the Rings. He was talking. He was talking about how about Daniel Bryan being some kind of cross between a lumberjack, a homeless lumberjack, and an Oompa Loompa. I mean, he was punking out Daniel Bryan, but he was also talking to CM Punk, and he said to CM Punk that that whoever is champion is going to have to face him, The Rock, at the Royal Rumble in a championship match. And Rock looked good. He looked tan. He looked ready. He was pumped up and everything like that. But I mean, what's up with that? Do you feel like The Rock is going to face CM Punk? And they talked about that match tonight later with John Cena. But then what about Daniel Bryan? I mean, Daniel Bryan wasn't having any of that. And he came back and he was saying no, 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 and chanting that. And the crowd gave it back to him. Yes, yes, yes. But he was facing right up there with The Rock. And Daniel Bryan wasn't having any of it. And he says somehow, some way, he was going to face The Rock and everything like that. And then The Rock told him that he got him a present. And he gave him the rock bottom, dude. Paul, this was a really devastating night for Daniel Bryan. This guy got crushed, but maybe he feels like he's going to face Rocky. And what is the psychological state now of Daniel Bryan, having been punked out at the wedding altar there by AJ? Now AJ is a general manager, and then he's doing this thing with CM Punk, and only to get The Rock coming down and punking him out and giving him the rock bottom in front of all of the fans there in St. Louis and all the millions of viewers, worldwide. Where do you think this puts Daniel Bryan, and where do you think this puts The Rock and CM Punk, Paul?
This was great. It was great to see Rock back. Everybody loves the energy and the charisma he brings. He fired things up. He looked great. Looks to be in great condition. Daniel Bryan definitely got punked after getting punked by AJ, by The Rock. There's no question about that. I liked the stuff. I liked it. Rock's saying, look, with CM Punk, kind of after he went about pretty much dissing Daniel Bryan, telling CM Punk, hey, you might get a shot at the great one. You might get a shot, but we have to see what happens. We have to see what plays out. I know that there are different potential matchups there. Is it going to be Daniel Bryan? Is it going to be CM Punk? Who knows who it's going to be? But
I was going to say real quick, I'm already starting to think right now, do you think that maybe we might see some kind of possible interference later this night in the match between CM Punk and John Cena, that somehow Daniel Bryan gets himself in that match? I think we could somehow see the revenge, if you will, of Daniel Bryan tonight even, Paul.
That's a very good prediction, I think. I think that definitely could happen. Look, it's been a very difficult night for Daniel Bryan. As you said, being called Oompa Loompa, punked out at the altar, punked out by The Rock. He's got a lot of build-up energy and frustration, I'm sure, so he might want to affect the outcome of that match. That's a good call.
This Daniel Bryan, he's been punked out so much, and he's not the biggest guy by any stretch in WWE, but with his yes, and the self-confidence and the wrestling skills that he has, I have to believe that somehow Daniel Bryan's going to bounce back from this and now, you know, he may have beef with The Rock. He has continuing beef with CM Punk. What is going to happen with Daniel Bryan? How do you think he might scheme to try to put himself in the championship picture? And what about The Rock? Do you feel like The Rock served notice to everybody that, yes, the Great One is back, and it's going to be his championship that he's going to go out there and get at the Royal Rumble? I mean, what happens now? This is an incredible episode. Raw 1000, so much more to talk about, so much more to react on, but right now we need to hear from you about this. Give us comments below. Please subscribe above. I'm John D. Villarreal, the 4-time national champion. That is Paul at Villarreal. Please rate this video up. Also, please post to your social networking sites. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.